Archbishop Franzo King. It will be my honor to introduce Archbishop Franzo King. I want to present a little bit of his history, and then he'll be making opening remarks. Franzo King, with the help of his brother, Landris, established the Jazz Club, where people would bring new recordings and readings, and they would host listening parties. Upon hearing of John Coltrane's ascension in 1967, they were moved with a greater sense of urgency to increase their activity. And in 1968, the Jazz Club became the Yardbird Club, offering an after-hours venue for visiting musicians who were experimenting with new sounds and ideas. In its heyday, the community owned Yardbird Club, an oasis of the atmosphere of rapidly diminishing Black ownership of jazz club venues. They saw themselves as bringing the music back to the community. By 1969, their spiritual yearnings and understandings of the sacred message of John Coltrane brought about a shift from the Yardbird Club to the Yardbird Temple, as their efforts moved from purely cultural to spiritual. The Yardbird Temple was a manifestation of how they were being guided by the Holy Ghost. They would move toward meditation, fasting, prayer, and remove everything that they understood to be at odds with the spiritual elevation of the music. The Yardbird Temple would evolve into One Mind Temple in 1971, and they moved to 201 Sawyer Street. The One Mind Temple would also come to be known as the One Mind Temple Evolutionary Transitional Body of Christ, upon further relocation to 351 Divisadero Street. The One Mind Temple years, 1971 to 1974, coincided with their activist involvement with the Black Panther Party and the creation and expansion of food, clothing, and shelter programs for the poor. At One Mind Temple, they attempted to realize the charitable and compassionate vision of Jesus Christ and of their patron saint, John Will.I.Am Coltrane. In 1981, His Eminence Archbishop Hinkson of the African Orthodox Church sent an emissary, Bishop Ajari, to San Francisco to invite the One Mind Temple Vedantic Center congregation to join the African Orthodox Church. The African Orthodox Church was founded in the midst of Marcus Garvey's Universal Negro Improvement Association, created under the belief that Black Episcopalians should have a denomination of their own, and that's commonly called UNIA. Under the tutelage of Archbishop George Duncan Hinkson, Archbishop King would study in Chicago and would be consecrated in 1984 as a bishop. The church would briefly become known as the One Mind Temple Missionary Episcopate of the African Orthodox Church. Upon the granting of sainthood for John Coltrane, the church would become the St. John Will.I.Am Coltrane African Orthodox Church, where they have continued to evolve as a religious, cultural, and political force in the community, even in spite of their relocation from 351 Divisadero to 930 Gough Street, and then to 1286 Fillmore Street, and then to 2097 Turk Boulevard. It is my honor to introduce His Eminence, the Most Reverend Archbishop Franzo King, D.D., co-founder of the Archbishop Jurisdiction of the West. Welcome, Archbishop Franzo King. Who's muted? Please unmute Archbishop King. So we'll be just a moment waiting for Archbishop. There he is. Welcome.
Hey. Well, thank you. Wow, what a history lesson.
For all of us.
I thought you was just going to tell people that I was a guy that loved the truth and how excited I am to be a part of this great coalition and the great work that we have collectively together been able to accomplish. I thought it was interesting you have to let me know where you got all that information so that I can share it with the rest of the community. But I'm excited at coming to the end of the year. And what's not in that history report is that the church has moved to the marina, to Fort Mason, to Marina Boulevard in Building D. And we're on the 3rd floor there, and we are being welcomed and hosted by the Magic Theater, which is very important for us. We say that we're bringing miracles and theater and magic together. So we're looking for some really beautiful things to happen there. We're down there close to the water. You know, that's where Jesus was introduced in the water. So anyway, I'm just going to have a few brief words, and I would say as much as we've accomplished, and I just want to thank, Carl and Dr. Scott and some of the other people that have been keeping me updated and informed and allowing me to be a voice for the church, because it's so important that we be involved, just not spiritually, but we have to be involved politically, socially, and any department of our lives, as St. John Coltrane would say. And in being a part of this coalition has allowed us to be relevant and significant and some justification for whatever space we're taking up on the planet. And I'm very grateful to that. And I would say to us, there's a scripture that says, be not weary in well-doing, and that we would grasp and continue to grasp and grasp firmly on what we've done, because to grasp and not grasp firmly is not to grasp at all. It seems that we're living in some very trying times, but it also gives a chance for magic and miracles to happen, and things that even sometimes is beyond our imaginations. But our dedication to freedom and justice seems to open up doors that the enemy would hope that were not only slammed, but that they were locked and closed forever. So I'm excited in that sense to be allied with such committed comrades that have great knowledge and have put in great labor with the work. And I would just say, let's not be weary in well-doing. Let's continue. And if there's anybody that likes to pray, that's good too. But, we say it like this: keep the prayer wheels turning and Coltrane burning, because that anointed sound too can help encourage us and even liberate us, free us, and heal us from any lethargy that we're having. We'll find that our energy increases and the stamina that we need to go forward. And somebody tell me when my 2 minutes is up, okay? And there it is. Thank you. All compassion to the people, with love to all.
When that red line is on the microphone, it's on mute.
I can't hear her though.
Did you volume up?
Oh, you're on. Oh, okay. Julie?
Okay, can everyone hear me? Here I
Yes.
go. Thank you, Archbishop. Thank you. It's a good way to get our evening started here and the end of the year and the new year coming. We are happy to be welcoming
Oh,
John.
Julie?
Yes,
John is having some connection problems, so if you could introduce Tommy.
my pleasure. All right. Tommy Avicoli Mecca is a Southern Italian queer songwriter, poet, and activist. He has appeared at many Living Wage Coalition events. He's also a longtime San Francisco tenants' rights activist. Welcome, Tony Avicoli Mecca. The floor is yours.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good, because I never know about these connections, whether they work or not. I've got two little songs to present tonight. The first one is a rather new song, and I've been a jazz fan all my life. I grew up with an older brother who introduced me to Coltrane and Miles and Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald and all those folks when I was very young. And I've never stopped loving the music. I've only recently, during COVID, when I had a lot of time because I couldn't leave my apartment, I started teaching myself jazz chords on my guitar so that I could get a little closer to actually writing some jazz songs. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that I'm there yet, but I'm heading in that direction, and I think anybody who's familiar with my old style will see that my style is different, and getting closer to that day when I'm hoping, my fantasy is to record with a jazz trio or quartet and record my songs. And I write ballads. I love jazz ballads. That's my absolute favorite style in the whole world. So I'm going to try to do this song and let you hear where I'm heading. As I said, I'm on a journey, but I'm not there yet. So this is called Strange Affair with Love. Chemicals in the brain, chemicals that flow like rain. Chemicals we're head over heels, but sometimes we don't wanna feel. He's had a strange affair with love, a very sad affair with love. Love never stays around. He never knows just where love is bound. He spends his days alone, it's true. He never laughs or smiles, he's blue. He struggles every day. He never knows just what people say. Love's got the moon on its side, takes the stars for a ride. Love's got the arrow and the bow, where it aims it, no one knows. He'll never fall in love again. He's very sure his heart will mend. He'll never let it break. He only cares that it won't ache. very sad affair with love. Love never stays around. He never knows just where love is bound. Love never stays around. He never knows just why love never stays. Okay, well, but in 2018, I did a show with Allison Wright, who's an amazing performer. If you ever get a chance to see her, she's amazing. We did a show together called A Roof Over My Head, which was about the housing crisis. And this was the title song, A Roof Over My Head, which was sung by an 80-something-year-old woman who was being evicted. And the show focuses around her fight to stay in her home. And this is called A Roof Over My Head. Never knew how much I needed it. Place to live where I know I can. Place to fly my thoughts all day, and a place to hang my hat, they say. Place to live until I'm dead. All I need is a roof over my head. I watch the years, they just flew by. A place to laugh and a place to cry. Place to bury a cat or two, and a place to do the things we do. Oh, remember what Dorothy said. All I need is a roof over my head. It doesn't have to be a lot of space. I'm not part of the old rat race. Just something underneath my feet to keep me off of the goddamn street. I remember when I was young, a place for songs that had to be sung. A place to toast a brand new year with a lot of joy and a little fear. You can always go home, they said. All I need is a roof over my head. Now I'm just too old to compete as the market turns up the heat. All the vultures with their dough, oh, I wonder if they'll ever know. Someday they may be in my bed. All they'll need is a roof over their head. All I need is a roof over my head. Something like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. Those were wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Carl, is John with us?
No, not yet.
How about Candy and Thomas?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I am just going to mention a few things about Candy Smallwood and Thomas Busser. Candy Michelle Smallwood, you can call her Mitch, is a second-generation San Franciscan. Candy grew up in the Bayview, Hunters Point area of San Francisco in the Alice Griffith Public Housing Development of the San Francisco Housing Authority. She's the second oldest of 8 kids. Graduating from Philip Burton High School in 2000, Candy is an alumnus of City College of San Francisco, San Francisco State University, and San Francisco Law School. A housing warrior and advocate, Candy is also an artist. Playing music, writing political poetry, Candy believes art is one of the most important things that we can do for ourselves and our expression. For the past 4 years, Candy has been playing music with the Brass Liberation Orchestra, a political street brass band that supports social justice causes and actions around the Bay Area. A lover of jazz, Candy has also spent the past 3 years studying jazz. A storyteller, Candy enjoys telling stories through her music, sharing her experiences and her emotions. Music is in her blood. Local jazz legends, Mary Stallings and Margie Baker, are her relatives and have greatly influenced her love of music. Candy's accompanied by Thomas Busser. Thomas grew up in France and found a new home here in San Francisco. He loves everything about sound and music and writes songs for fun. Welcome Candy Smallwood and Thomas Busser. You're muted, Candy. You're muted, Candy.
Yeah, now she's. Yeah, that was my fault, Candy. It's fixed now.
Oh, no worry. Thank you. I was like, keep saying I can't unmute. How's it going, everyone? Really excited to be here. And we have three pieces for y'all. Yeah. I wrote the lyrics, and Thomas wrote the music and did the production. Okay. According to MIT, a living wage is the hourly rate that an individual in a household must earn to support themselves and their family. This includes paying for housing, food, transportation, medical expenses, childcare, and other basic necessities. In San Francisco, a living wage for a single person with no kids is $28 an hour. The minimum wage in San Francisco is $16.99 an hour. How do you break the cycle of poverty? How do you live, meet your needs, prepare for unexpected emergencies? How can you save? How can someone survive when they make less than a living wage? How can people prosper? If you don't make a living wage, how can you thrive and support your family? Why is our system so broken that there is such a wealth disparity? What's worse is who makes these decisions. Who decides what people get paid? They don't struggle to afford rent and basic necessities. They don't live in substandard housing they can barely afford. Why do the wealthy decide to entrap so many people in poverty? Why do we have to fight for something so simple? Why must we fight for justice, economic justice? San Francisco, I love you. Walking these streets as I grew, the city I roam. This city, my home. Dear San Francisco, I grew up here. My family welcomed with open arms. From the shipyards to the Fillmore, the Marina, the Presidio, the Bayview, Portola, Candlestick Park, the Mission, Ocean Beach, Chinatown, Pier 39. These streets have been my home, the only home I have ever known. San Francisco, I love you. Walking these streets as I grew, the city I roam. This city, my home. Growing up, we walked and rode the buses everywhere. I used to love going to the Mission, seeing all the shops and the vendors. I still love it now, changed a bit. Tower Records, Jeffrey's Toys, remember FAO Schwartz, Stern Grove? We used to walk to school every day, and I always ran into folks that I knew. I always thought San Francisco was a big, small town. It's a city that struggles, but somehow always prevails. San Francisco, I love you. Walking these streets as I grew, the city I roam. This city, my home. And then this is our final song. We wrote this a couple years ago when Carl asked us to perform, and we just like this one because it's really, really catchy. The living wage song. Everything is so expensive. Housing, food, utilities. It's so hard to get what you need when your world is run by greed. Let's all get on the same page. We all need a living wage. Let's all get on the same page. We all need a living wage. What people get paid is minuscule. It's extremely low. It's cruel. How do we expect people to thrive when they barely make enough to survive? Let's all get on the same page. We all need a living wage. Let's all get on the same page. We all need a living wage. All we're asking for is some sincerity. Pay us fairly. All we're asking for is some sincerity. Pay us fairly. Let's all get on the same page. We all need a living wage. Let's all get on the same page. We all need a living wage. Let's all get on the same page. We all need a living wage. Let's all get on the same page. We all need a living wage. Pay us a living wage. Pay us a living wage. Pay us a living wage.
Thank you, Candy. Thank you, Thomas. Always good to hear that last one, especially. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carl, do we have John?
Not yet. If you.
Okay. How about, is Elizabeth okay to start?
Yes.
Okay. Next up, I have a few comments about Elizabeth Esteva and Nancy, both. They were born in Tehuantepec, I'm sure I said that wrong, forgive me, in Oaxaca, a beautiful little neighborhood called Barrio Santa Cruz. Nancy came to live in San Francisco in 1983. Her sister Elizabeth came 10 years after that. In 1996, they started singing together. They educate people about their culture. Their brother, Mario Esteva, who is a troubadour in our streets of San Francisco, inspired the name of the group. Uno Flor, Uno Canti, Uno Housisi. I think that's a flower, a song and a poem. They perform a mix of songs and poetry that speak of the love of justice and change. Besides Spanish, Elizabeth sings in Zapotec, one of the indigenous languages of Oaxaca. So first, there will be Elizabeth, and then after that, Nancy. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Gracias. Les voy a cantar Tehuantepec en zapoteco. Gisiti shuna shingali, tiyuduro gijilaju, pagenda nabani gunina nasaka, siasi shushi beshanyeu. Lingati kiesho baro, nakishine linda nashi. Riale gashe nisado, nego villagira gisedo. Kaukenda viane gisina para shigusiandali. Ratikala no lo noa, la jiduano kapapanelu. Neruna nerika la yen, gisisi tu no lo noa. Kayakashilase washininirase rugaba kabele gieba. Jigatera yo bastiu rinaba ukashiluna. Rano se niña. Nesta lenda yaki sheluna. La siguiente canción es una canción que se llama eso precisamente. Te doy una canción. Como gasto papeles recordándote, como me haces hablar en el silencio, como no te me quitas de las ganas, aunque nadie me vea nunca contigo, y como pasa el tiempo, que de pronto son años sin pasar tú por mí detenido. Te doy una canción si abro una puerta y de las sombras sales tú. Te doy una canción de madrugada cuando más quiero tu luz. Te doy una canción y digo patria y sigo hablando para ti. Te doy una canción con mis dos manos, con las mismas de matar. Si miro un poco afuera me detengo, la ciudad se derrumba y yo cantando. La gente que me odia y que me quiere no me va a perdonar que me distraiga, en que lo digo todo, que me juego la vida porque no te conocen ni te sienten. Te doy una canción si hago un discurso sobre mi derecho a hablar. Te doy una canción con mis dos manos, con las mismas de matar. Te doy una canción y digo patria y sigo hablando para ti. Te doy una canción como un disparo, como un libro, una palabra, una guerrilla. Como doy el amor. A continuación escucharemos a Nancy.
Thank you. Welcome, Nancy.
Can you hear me? ¿Me pueden oír?
¿Sí?
Voy a apagar mi cámara para que me oigan mejor.
Okay.
Se llama El Sembrador. De aquel rincón, bañado por los fulgores del sol que nuestro cielo triunfante llena. En la florida tierra donde entre flores se deslizó mi infancia dulce y serena. Envuelto en los recuerdos de mi pasado, borroso cual lo lejos del horizonte, guardo el ejemplo jamás olvidado del sembrador más raro que hubo en el monte. Aún no sé si era sabio, loco o prudente, aquel hombre que humilde traje vestía. Solo sé que al mirarlo toda la gente con profundo respeto se descubría. Y es que acaso su gesto severo y noble a todos asombraba por lo arrogante, hasta los leñadores mirando al roble sienten lo majestuoso de lo gigante. Una tarde de otoño subí a la sierra y al sembrador sembrando miré risueño. Desde que existen hombres en esta tierra, nunca se ha trabajado con tanto empeño. Hay que ser como el viento que siembra flores. Lo mismo en la montaña que en la llanura. Y hay que andar por la vida sembrando amores, con la vista y el alma siempre en la altura. Dijo el loco, y con profunda melancolía, por las breñas del monte siguió trepando, y al perderse en las sombras, aún repetía, hay que seguir sembrando, siempre sembrando.
Una más.
Nancy, you are muted. Can't hear you, Nancy. Carl, can you help Nancy get unmuted? Thank you. Nancy, you're unmuted. We're ready.
Yes, I was trying to unmute, but anyway, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hear me?
yes.
Okay. So this poem is el sembrador, las Marías. ¿Dónde te metes, muchacho? Que desde antier no te vemos. Mira nomás cómo vienes, de sangre todo cubierto. Echa garra en la camisa. Ese ojo casi deshecho. Ay, hijo, ¿pero qué pasa? Yo no te doy ese ejemplo. Mira nomás cómo vienes. Pues, ¿qué clase de hijo tengo? Cállese. No me rezongue. Muchachito parrandero. Inmediatamente va a lavarse pescuezo y se me cambia de limpio para llevarlo a ver al médico. Y cuando venga su madre, a ver qué diablos hacemos. Ay, chavita, qué mal andas. Ay, hijo, qué triste es esto. Yo metida en el trabajo para ganarnos el sustento. Y la pobre de tu madre, por todas partes corriendo, fue a las cruces a buscarte. Luego al servicio secreto. Después a los hospitales. Ya te dábamos por muerto. Pero ella tiene la culpa por darme malos consejos. Viejo, vámonos de aquí. El muchacho está creciendo. Ay, viejito, no seas malo. Si seguimos en el pueblo, no puede el niño estudiar. Y él quiere ser ingeniero. ¿Y qué hice? Mis 10 chivas, mis marranos, mi escopeta, toditito que lo vendo. Y con un capitalito, ahí viene Pancho, el muy menso, a meterse en esta jaula para que usted fuera ingeniero. Ahora dígame, señor, ¿está bien lo que está haciendo? Sí, padre. Si usted me escucha, tal vez estará de acuerdo. Porque no hice más que hacer lo que usted hubiera hecho. Una ancianita descalza, más delgadita que el viento, con un chiquito a su lado que imagino era su nieto, junto al cine de la Misión. flores estaba vendiendo. Llegaron 3 de la migra, gordos como un monumento, y haciendo gala de fuerza subirla a un carro quisieron. Pegó de gritos la anciana misericordia pidiendo, y el niño aterrorizado clamaba piedad del cielo. Lucharon 2 contra 3 y los débiles vencieron. Pero a los pocos minutos, uno que pasó corriendo pateó la fruta con rabia y de pasada al pequeño. Ay, padre, que le echó mano, y aunque no era de mi peso, de un puñetazo en la barba le vi rodar por el suelo. Pero a los pocos minutos sus contaplachas volvieron y entre los 3 me dejaron tirado en el pavimento. Ahora sí, júzgueme usted, sin compasión, sin rodeos. Vengo de pisar la cárcel por defender a mi pueblo. Si usted piensa que hice mal, lo siento. No me arrepiento. Gracias.
Thank you, Nancy. That was it cuts right to our heart with your voice and your words. And thank you, Elizabeth, for your songs. You two have brought a great moment to this evening. Thank you very much. I think we're a little off our expected order of guests. Carl, if you could let me know, should I go ahead or should I step back for John?
John isn't able to connect to audio.
Well, then, okay,
You can move to David.
and I will. So David Frias, I would like to welcome him. He's the campaign co-director of the San Francisco Living Wage Coalition, and he's going to have a few comments about the organization's current campaigns. Welcome, David Frias. Carl, I see you're up and muted. Think you bear with us a moment. I think we're experiencing the well-known syndrome of technical difficulties. So hang in here with us a moment and we will get David Frias engaged here momentarily. I didn't come prepared for this. I don't have any jokes to tell.
So David's saying, give him 3 minutes and it'll be on.
Okay, 3 minutes it is. Well, this might be that opportunity. Don't go too far away, but a little bit of a stretch. The briefest of bio breaks, and don't leave us. We still have many wonderful performers and a few other comments we want to share with each of you. And I think it has started raining again, so staying inside out of the wet weather with us here at Living Wage might be the thing to do. I wouldn't do it justice, but I'd love to sing Candy Smallwood's song again. It's time for a living wage. But I won't. That would just be wrong. She's such a talent.
That's the joke you're telling.
Oh, I've been informed that was my joke. I'm just reflecting back on what we've heard in the last few minutes from Tommy Avicoli Mecca, and certainly Archbishop Franzo King, Candy, Thomas, Nancy, Elizabeth. The evening has been enriched for each of you, for what each of you has shared with us. Thank you so much. And I know people that are here with this end of the year evening, recognizing 2022 and all we've done different times, deserve to just be sitting back, putting your feet up and enjoying what's going to come next. And I mean in the next hour, but also, I hear sounds. It's David Frias. They're going to be so glad to get me to
Yes,
stop
I'm here.
talking.
I'm here.
David, welcome.
Thanks for your patience. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, great. It's unfortunate that John couldn't be on. He's always been one of our annual performers. So I planned on taking my break at 7 when I was supposed to start, but these things happen and I'm ready to go. So let's do it.
Okay.
This year, working with labor, we engaged in the city budget process. And for the 4th year in a row, won city funding to increase wages for city-funded nonprofit workers and CalWorks community service workers to a minimum rate of $17.90 per hour, and for IHSS home care workers to $18.75 per hour. Working closely with the San Francisco Labor Council, SEIU Local 2015, SEIU Local.
David, you're muted.
Can you?
You start with SEIU 2015.
SEIU Local 1021. Can you hear me?
Yes, but it shows you're muted, but we can hear you.
Unite Here Local 2, SEIU, USWW, UFCW Local 5, OPEIU Local 29, and NUHW. We will continue to campaign to increase wages for 25,000 IHSS home care workers.
Muted, David.
Yeah, that must be on the technical issues. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We will continue to be engaged in the city budget process to make sure that there is adequate funding for nonprofit organizations to increase wages. We are also going to continue to struggle to bring wages for home care workers, nonprofit workers, and CalWorks community service workers to the same rate as workers at for-profit city contractors so that they are not held in a second-tier wage structure. We are also engaged in supporting Starbucks, Amazon, and fast food workers. We supported paid time off for domestic workers, meal and rest breaks for public sector and UC nurses, and healthcare costs for workers and city contractors. We have been supporting Mexican workers organizing unions independent of the companies at General Motors plant in Guanajuato, auto parts plants in Tamaulipas, and maquiladoras in Ciudad Juárez. We have been supporting immigrant workers in the U.S. and fighting for legalization, asylum, temporary protective status, and relief from the economic impacts of the pandemic. I want to acknowledge our sponsors who donated to this event. That includes unions and organizations, including the International Union of Painters and Allied Trade District Council 16, Peninsula Auto Machinists Lodge 1414, San Francisco Senators, Sanitary Truck Drivers, and Helpers Teamsters Local 350, and the United Food and Commercial Workers Local 5. Individuals include Edward and Maddie Algani, Jonathan Bonato, Robert Bustamante, Joe Barry, and Helena Worthen. Alice Solante, Frank Martin del Campo, Alice Rogoff, Mary Jane Micoria, in memory of Betty de Lozada. You have the opportunity right now to join them in showing your support for social and economic justice for low-wage workers. We will be posting information in the chat on how you can contribute online. We also have new phone apps that you can use to donate. You can search for SF Living Wage, Google Play Store, in the Google Play Store for the Android version, or in the Apple Store for the iPhone version. You can also do it the old school way. You can make a check out to SF Living Wage Coalition and mail it to 2940 16th Street, Suite 0301, San Francisco, California.
Muted. David, you're muted. David, we can't hear you. You're muted.
I'm not muted on my end. Can you hear me
Okay,
now?
now we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, okay. And mail it to 2940 16th Street, Suite 301, San Francisco, California, 94103. You can make a tax-deductible donation through our fiscal sponsor, the Peace Development Fund. Just add PDF to our name on the check. Our goal tonight is to raise $500. To get things started, do we have anyone who will step up to pledge 100 tonight? You can raise your hand. I see Roger. Roger, thank you. Roger will be the first one. He will donate $100. Who else will we have?
David, are you going to mention the premiums?
He's muted again.
Okay, just give me a moment.
There we go. We hear you.
We have exciting premiums for the first pledges. We have 2 gift certificates for half a dozen donuts at Dynamo Donuts on 24th Street. These are original local artisan donut shop with flavors like vegan coconut almond rum or chocolate peppermint. Who's going to get the first gift certificate?
I'm in. I want my donuts. $100, please.
All right, so we have Roger now and Julie. So we have 2. We have 1 gift certificate for Dynamo Donuts to Roger and 1 for Julie. Great start. Who else will pledge $100?
Oh,
So we have now up to $200. We have a $25 gift certificate from Valencia Pizza and Pasta. Do we have another pledge for 100? Should have mentioned that first.
David, give me just a moment to
Go ahead.
yeah, I just need to make sure that everyone's able to unmute themselves. It's
Everyone's muted.
yeah. It's just a moment.
We have Alice Rogoff who said that she will pledge $100. Thank you, Alice. So I believe.
Okay, so people can unmute themselves now.
So you may unmute yourselves. So Alice, I believe, she's the 3rd person. She will get a $25 gift certificate from Valencia Pizza and Pasta. Do we have, so now we're up to 300. Who will pledge $50?
David?
Yes.
I'm pledging 100.
Oh, great. Thanks, Carl. So now we have Carl Kramer who's donating 100. So we're at $400. Do we have someone who would pledge $50? You could also put your icon under the hands up if you can unmute yourselves.
I'll pledge another $50. Roger.
Go off to ask if they got my pledge online or not.
Did you get David Williams's pledge?
You seem to have confused it with Alice.
It was David Williams' pledge,
Okay.
not.
I see that. David, Mark, pardon. It was actually David Williams, David who had pledged 100. And And Alice as well, or just?
Alice is already
No,
given.
no, I've already donated. I think I've already.
Oh, so
Then I
I
don't-
believe we're at 450 now.
Then I don't get the discount. Jim.
We have Roger who says he'll donate another $50. And I believe we're $50 away from our goal of $500. So with one person, just with one person, be willing to donate $50.
Gennaro.
Do we have
I
enough?
can donate 50. My name is Gennaro. I can donate $50.
Thank you very much. That's $50. So now we're at 500, or we've reached our goal. You guys are awesome. For La Lucha.
Thank you all.
And anyone else would like to who would pledge $25? For $25. I don't see anyone. Okay. Thanks to those who have donated. Thank you. John, we have John who's raised his hand.
I'll give you $25.
All right, awesome. Thank you, John. We're at 525. We've exceeded 500. Awesome. Very good. That's awesome. Anyone else? Candy and Thomas will donate $50. Awesome. Thank you, Candy. So now we're at 575. We have at least one more person donate $25. We've exceeded our goal by 100 to make it 600.
Hi, hi.
Hello?
Can you hear me? I gave 25
Yes.
last year. I give 25 this year.
Awesome. Your name again?
Karen,
One more
Oh.
time?
do you need my picture?
Your name?
Right here.
You can get on video.
Revolutionary poet.
Oh, great, great. Oh, Karen. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Karen, oh, it's great to see you. All right, that's 600. I salute everyone here. One more time, anyone else who'd like to make a donation of at least $25? All right. A fun way to make contribution.
I will, Barbara.
25, Barbara?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
We're at 625. We've
So that's
exceeded.
25?
Nancy, gracias. 650, we're at 650.
Elizabeth, 25.
Oh, hola, Elizabeth, hola. We're at 675. Anyone else? Last call, last call. Okay, gracias, muchas gracias a todos, y thanks everyone here.
Bravo.
Also mentioned that, yes, Carl?
Thank you, everyone.
Gloria,
Yes.
25.
Ándale, órale, Gloria, ya tenemos, we're at 700. Woo! We did it. Thank you. I will mention a fun way to make a contribution is also to place a bid in our art auction. The auction will be closing at 8 p.m. tonight, so in 55 minutes. You will find a link to it in the chat. Should I continue with the other art bids, Carl?
Oops. Okay,
What was that, David?
Do we have enough time to announce art bid,
Sure, and it looks like John is, we're waiting on John to connect.
We have 10 minutes.
Yeah, although John, I'm not seeing the sound.
Well, I see David.
Okay, okay,
I don't hear anything still.
okay.
that
You
John?
want to keep trying, and then we're gonna just show something here on the screen.
I guess I'll have to just keep trying. I'm not.
Okay.
please do.
Okay. All right.
Tried downloading this stuff and all kinds of things.
So we have a laminated photo of Ray or Mandy. Is that the
Yeah.
one? Let me see.
You're probably not.
Well,
This is Ray or Mandy of Isini, Oaxaca. There's an opening bid of $5. Take a look at this art piece.
Are you
And
still there, John?
who bid $5? for
I
this?
should mute myself. They're hearing everything.
I'll be at 10.
Oh, right. Hey, thank you. Roger. Anyone else? 15, one more for 15. Going once. Twice. Roger for $10.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. And another art piece here. As soon as Carl has a chance. Is it up there? We can move on to the next one. As you can see, the art pieces that you can bid for.
Little slower, please.
You cannot see it.
Too fast.
Here it is. This is from Nikki's son, AJ Trezvino. And this is his art piece by AJ of the double moon that starts at $10. Who will bid $10?
I'm gonna bid 15.
Thank you, Julie. Will anyone like to bid for 20 on this art piece from AJ? Going once? And twice? All right, Julie, $15. It's a great
Thank
art
you.
piece by late AJ, Nikki's son. We
Um,
have one more. Good. I think we have one more piece. It's a screen print of by Tusco Perez. Mom and Child. As soon as we'll see that on the screen. Chucho Perez, Mom and Child. And we have this, it's a screen print. Starting at $30.
Ashmallow is testing out a new tech tool.
Do I have a bid for $30? Mom and Child,
And
screen print.
David, maybe to mention that how to access it to make a bid.
And note that it is a silk screen. That's a very special art.
Mhm.
Do we have a bid?
Do you want to give instructions how to bid?
We'll see. So have you guys on the chat, you can go to the website for the art auction. Is it already posted?
Yes, I posted it in the chat.
And you can go on and go to this art piece and put the amount of minimum $30 to make a bid, and you have until 8 o'clock tonight. So that's all I have here, Carl. Julie.
Okay.
Thank you
Wow.
everyone for being here, and it's great listening here while all that work. Here's John. Hey, John. I think you're
All
ready.
right, John. All right.
Oh, somebody
Welcome,
sees,
John.
it took a lot of work to get to this point.
Thank you for not giving up. We're so glad to hear your voice. I just want to mention that John is a longtime activist in the city. And not only that, he's a supporter of San Francisco Living Wage Coalition, including, I hear, a term as a treasurer. His musical career has been inspired by Tommy Avicoli Mecca, we heard earlier. So welcome, John. The floor is yours.
Okay. Let me set it up a little bit. It's just took me a bit of work to get to this point.
We're
You
all
see me?
learning.
Okay. So this
Bienvenuto,
first-
John.
Thank you. So this, I'm gonna do 3 short songs. This first one is
John?
written. Yes,
John, you may need to rotate the image on your phone.
I can't because my phone is about to die of batteries.
Okay, so
Wish, I'm sorry. But the sound, but the sound
Okay.
won't be,
no, it won't affect the sound. So carry on, brother.
okay, all right. This is written by Vicky Leidner, Dance Baby Dance. Dance, baby, dance. Crawl, baby, crawl. Say you got democracy, hypocrisy. Everything is getting worse. Well, K Street rules, rich takes all, the rest of us are cursed. Dance, baby, dance. Crawl, baby, crawl. They say gotta vote for less two evils. That is what we're sold. We need to vote who we really want. Need to be that bold. Dance, baby, dance. Crawl, baby, crawl. Ooh, they give us back what we already made, then they take that away. A two-party system is really just one. Money trail gives them away. Dance, baby, dance. Crawl, baby, crawl. We made them rich, well, son of a bitch, they keep wanting more and more. Let's take government back, make them pay their tax, let's make our voices soar. Well, that's one.
Bravo, John.
All right.
Bravo.
Next one's called The Rolling Rag. Gun making all that dough. Thanks to bloodshed from Chicago to Mexico. Now they can see now what's the fuss. Every dollar they make says in God we trust. That's just the way we roll. They say immigration needs reform, like it matters. Side of the border you are born. Well, north and south and central too, we're all Americans, proud and true. That's just the way we roll. A living wage is what our workers need. Our needs getting lost by corporate greed. Economic justice is the mission of the San Francisco Living Wage Coalition. That's just the way we Uncle Tom would never harm a flea. There's a reason why he was never free. Rose-colored glasses gotta shatter, shout it out, Black Lives Matter. That's just the way we roll. Getting really sick of Donald Trump. All his trash he talks should never leave the dump. His pompous lies with his mouth unbridled, he sparks and smirks like a kind of little child, and that's just the way we roll. Thanks to all who participated, united, our work is top rated. Oh, let's applaud and make recognition for the San Francisco Living Wage Coalition. That's just the way we
Bravo, bravo, John.
All right. One
Thank
more.
you, John.
One
Thank
more.
you.
I'm gonna switch guitars to do one more to fill in my 10-minute spot here. This one is a Canned Heat cover. Let's Work Together. Together we stand, divided we fall. Let's get together and put on the ball. Let's get together. Come on, let's get together. Cause together we can stall every boy, girl, boy, and man. When things go wrong, and sometimes they will, the road that you're on is going uphill. Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Cause together we can stand every boy, every girl, and woman, and man. Let's make them happy. Let's make them smile. Let's try and do the work worthwhile. Let's get together. Come on, let's work together. Because together we can have every boy, girl, woman, and man. Oh, well, you people. Oh, well, you people. Let's walk hand in hand. Let's make this world a good place to stand. Let's stick together. Come on, let's work together. Because together we can stand every boy, girl, woman, and man. All right.
Bravo, John. Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you for
Uh,
getting into this evening and bringing us those songs. Moving
Okay.
our spirit. Thank you.
I was a little stricken up for all that, but we got through it.
Good work. Thank you very much.
All right.
John's music is so much better than his technical skills.
That's the right choice. Going to be good at something, be good at that music of yours. Good deal.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, we are going to have two members of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade, familiar names to many of us, Karen Melander Magoon and John Curl. Karen Melander Magoon was the representative of the USA with Manas Badihan at the World Poetry Festival in Cuba, 2016. And she has had six books of her poetry published under Curious Muse Press. Her first commemorated to the pandemic, A Year of Anguish. A Time for Miracles was followed by five more. The Earth Turns, Millions of Suns, Footsteps Whispering, A Forest of Words, and her latest, Ghost and Angels. Those are plural, Ghosts and Angels. Her work's been published in several anthologies. Besides those she co-edited for the Revolutionary Poets Brigade. Last year, the Fellowship of Reconciliation published her Occupy Rap to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the Occupy movement. Karen is a doctor of ministry and spent 2 decades singing major opera roles in Germany and in Austria. In retirement, she plays piano and works regularly with elderly in music and poetry. And she'd like us to know she's a proud mom of 2 and grandmom with 3 grandsons. John Curl, who will also be here, is the author of 12 poetry collections, including his latest, Rainbow Weather, that's WEATHER, Rainbow Weather, Poems for Environmental Healing, published by Vagabond Books. His translations of ancient Inca, Maya, and Aztec poets are collected in Ancient American Poets by Bilingual Press. He represented the USA at the World Poetry Festival in Venezuela and is a co-editor of the annual poetry anthologies of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade. They are both longtime members of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade for years under the mentorship and guidance of San Francisco Poet Laureate Emeritus, someone we very much miss, Jack Hirschman. The Revolutionary Poets Brigade is a group of poets in the San Francisco Bay Area dedicated to bringing positive change in the world through the power of poetry. They gather for community readings and actions at any venue, including the streets. Founded in 2009, it calls on all poets to put their powerful words in the services of struggles already in motion. For the last 12 years, it has published an annual anthology of the poetry of revolution, inspired with the passion of the living, provoking the future. Its latest edition is titled Storm Warning. And the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, this has been great. And thank you, Carl. Above all, you really should have a round of very, very dedicated applause to what you have been doing for years for the living wage and CISPAS, and just to see that this community keeps supporting those who need that support. So thank you, Carl. And my first poem is Justice, because it deals with what we're talking about. Workers strike for health care, for insurance, for fair living wages. People march for human rights, for safety, for protection from police. People rise up against injustice, against slayings by police, exonerated by unconstitutional grand juries. Women and children continue to combat injustice in the workplace and in life, unequal wages, violence. It's all the same. Law must prioritize the people and not the working class. And my next is Burning Amazon. I think right now our environmental issues are so egregious. And we know when we had fires, just incredible fires recently during the pandemic. So Burning Amazon. The Amazon is burning. Loggers and farmers have set fire to the lungs of our world to clear the way for crops and farms. The native Mura tribes are dying, their lives burning away with the trees and Brazil nuts, the ferns and animals. They seek out the arsonists with guns to stop the fires. But it is not their way to destroy, but to save. The native tribes do not shoot, but walk quietly. They walk the way of the forest, the way of nature, as they have learned from the beginning of time to walk with earth under the stars, under the moon and sun, as one being, one earth. One. And my last, Seeking Epiphany. I walk through dampened leaves of fall, crushing browns and reds and yellows, wondering at an ancient forest shedding her summer gown to stand naked in the winter. The birds are hiding in the evergreens or pecking through moist leaves or flying onward to a warmer clime. My tribe and I have built an artificial world where we may shelter houses, cars, food sent on vast systems, food seldom grown at home. I walk through dampened leaves, peering at mushrooms pushing through an old and wizened earth, entering their fairy circles, and wonder if we too should find our way out of this artificial world, into the natural realm of growth and death, or ask the birds and mushrooms, trees and leaves, how best we might accommodate their world, knowing its delights of flowers and butterflies, of trees and sustenance, yet knowing too how we have grown away from nature's wisdom and must now find again our place with all our books, machines and maps, computers, fuels dug from Gaia's arms, must find our place within her realm, to learn again to live with her in humble mutuality. Thank you.
Bravo.
And now,
Bravo.
thank you.
Bravo.
And I'm just delighted that John was able to join us this evening. He was just identified by the mentor who does Sacred Grounds as a great poet. So with that, onward to John Curl.
Thank you, Karen.
You flatter me, Karen. Thank you so much. Most of what I'm going to read is from this new book, Rainbow Weather, which has just come out. And success. We meet, clinging to the cliff at the edge of the world after a long journey. You are here. You have survived. I have enormous respect for you for that accomplishment. You are clever, fast, persistent, enduring, wily. The simple fact that you're alive is proof you needed to be in order to survive through this blood-soaked mess and chaos. As any glance at history will demonstrate, they keep killing each other every day, almost anywhere we look, bedlam and mayhem. And they've been doing that since as far back as anybody chooses to remember or to forget, since time never began. While in the thick of it all, you and I, direct descendants of the long stream of life back through the first pre-humans, and before that, to whatever form we took way back when you and I have somehow made it through all this chaos and murder together. It's been quite a journey, and it hasn't been easy. So it's a victory for us all. We have arrived at this place. We are the winners, the survivors. But where do we go from here? Talk is cheap. Like they say, talk is cheap. You can buy it for a song, but a song isn't always cheap. And a poem is not all just talk. A poem has repercussions. A poem has consequences. Our homes, our air, water, food, clothes, our ability to feed our grandchildren, all for sale to the highest bidder, turned into junk. All they know is how to commodify, to turn a profit, transform our primeval valleys into video games. But even all that plunder, all that booty, all that pillage just seems to make them even hungrier. While the hypocrites keep spicing their impeccable appetizers, while the stockbrokers keep lubricating their numbered bank accounts, while the politicians keep crouching in their safe deposit boxes, while the assassins keep screwing on their silencers, while the unnatural rains keep drenching the dying cedar forests, while the parched riverbeds keep trickling painfully into the chemical mudflats, while the radioactive waves keep slapping greedily against oily rocks and toxic sands, we stand in the still smoldering arcade, ankle deep in rotting piles of poisoned peaches and tomatoes, our sacred spots vandalized and looted, priceless treasures trashed beyond recognition, functionaries clear-cutting birthday parties, ancient forests turned into funeral processions, grandmothers with open sores on their backs denied love and medicine, young girls who have not seen their families for months, beloved teachers with ropes on their wrists and ankles, while security guards and realtors roam the smoking halls, searching for anything of value to sell for souvenirs. No, we are not commodities. No, this planet cannot be privatized. We draw the deepest line, deprivatize our antelopes, our bluebirds, our mountain passes, our wavelets rippling toward across our beaver lakes, our finches' nests swaying in our elms, our prairie dogs, our flowering dogwood, the foam in our seven seas, taking back our commons, healing our commons, restoring our dreams, deprivatizing, decommodifying, caring for, respecting, reviving the commons of our land, our waters, our atmosphere, our homes, our jobs, our food, our industries, our skills, our knowledge, our cultural heritage, our history, our elders, our unborn generations, all the turquoise commons of our planet, all our commons together, But talk is cheap. You can buy it for a song, but a song isn't always cheap. And a poem is not all just talk. A poem has repercussions. A poem has consequences. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, John, Aaron. We'll be carrying those with us, those poems you have written and shared with us. Thank you. In a moment, we'll be hearing from Diego Sardineta, a composer and musician who was born and raised in Mexico. From an early age, Diego taught himself to play several instruments, concentrating on drum and guitars. For years, he played drums with different groups in jazz festivals throughout Mexico. Now he focuses on guitar, and he has written and composed many gypsy guitar melodies. I have the pleasure of introducing Diego Sardineta. Thank you.
Hablando de John Coltrane, buenas noches, feliz Navidad antes todos. Y bueno, un poquito de Charlie Parker, John Coltrane y todas las orquestas de ese tiempo. Agradezco la invitación. Feliz Navidad a todos. Gracias.
Thank you, Diego. Thank you. Hello to each of you. Whoa. All this great stuff, and we're not done yet. We have a few more people to share their talents with us. Next is Alice Rogoff. She's a recipient of the Culture Equity Individual Literary Commission from San Francisco Arts Commission for poems about San Francisco women labor organizers. She's a Poets 11 winner in the Friends of the Library contest and won first and second prizes in the 2014 Pacific Media Workers Guild Freelance Journalism Award in the Creative Writing Poetry category. And if that isn't enough, she's published 2 books of poetry, Mural and Bargewood. A member of the Communication Workers of America and a delegate to the San Francisco Labor Council on behalf of the Coalition of Labor Union Women. She's the LaborFest. She is in the LaborFest Writers Anthology, Giving Voice. Please welcome Alice Rogoff.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. I also have a new book, Painting the Cat's Vision. This is called When We Were Together. We went to hear jazz. Bejones was painted black at first, then painted red, and to the Meat Market Coffee House was changed from beige to pink. Small businesses that allowed homeless people around their edges, they not being different, a jazz musician, poets, and street people merging together. Bob Kaufman wandering into Bejones to whisper poems, both black and red, and labor too. The Poets Union met at Bejones, 20 poets, each with a tune. Was it chaos or was that jazz? It was jazz. Have the children found their parents yet? Years ago, she was confined in a cage, still in another cage of separation, put on a treadmill, jumble of paperwork while parents gone, declared illegal, children floating in ocean of tears, bonding in limbo, harsh crossing. What does family friendly mean? Has she found her parents yet? Or is she number 510, unreunited? When the vet techs went on strike, they invited their supporters to their picket line and to bring their pets, most likely their dogs. My dog and I jumped into the car and joined the other 10 dogs that gathered in front of a pet hospital that was severely overworking, understaffing, underpaying its workers. I hadn't realized until a friend's daughter became a vet tech that vet techs go through a vigorous training course in education. Erminger was there as well with his dog. Erminger was known for the Boatmen's Union, for working on those boats that ride on the San Francisco Bay, going out to islands like Angel Islands, Park, or Alcatraz. Alcatraz had recently become controversial because the federal government gave contracts and a new one was non-union. But Erminger also had a dog, a little Chihuahua that went everywhere with him. The dog came to the San Francisco Labor Council. He could hold her on his shoulder or she could sit on his lap. With Erminger's sunny attitude, they were often in the middle of protests, even international ones, supporting workers as far away as England or South Africa. Another labor activist, Claire, had come with her Doberman. One usually thinks of Dobermans as portrayed as vicious dogs chasing nice spotted Dalmatians, but Claire's dog was also very shy. The district supervisor also had come to speak. The pet hospital is owned by the Mars company that makes my favorite candy mounds with coconut, but no more mounds for me or Snickers on Halloween. and no chocolate for dogs. Chocolate is bad for dogs. The Spanish kings in the park, not a very used park, though beautiful, only one statue there with a plaque to explain, dressed in armor and a sword, all in black. One Spanish king, Juan Carlos, gifted the monument of another Spanish king, Carlos, who founded San Francisco, the Presidio, military base, and the mission. The modern King Juan Carlos must have been proud to commemorate. No mention of the native Ohlone of enforced labor for any of the three. Not a statue that anyone really notices as scholars row boats or children picnic in the park. The gift from one king by another king almost looks lonely, presiding over the ducks and raccoons, over former land grants, later stolen, which cheated the Spanish settlers as well as the Ohlone. 3 lives. Here on Forster Avenue, there is a woman on my street who wears a burqa, covered in black in the California sun, holding the hand of a little boy, her grandson, walking to the grocery store. The crossing guard helps her pass on the way to the elementary school. Waiting at the bus stop here on Forster Avenue is a young woman wearing a hijab and jeans, the pink scarf wrapping around her hair, the latest style, floral applique. She carries a large psychology textbook, boards the bus to City College. A woman in Iran throws her hijab away, dances, dies, and disappears. Lorilla. I see Lorilla in her purple hat at so many meetings I go to. It's almost not an event without her. I know there are others like Lorilla, but don't know well, though I probably know what some of her life was like because it's so much like mine and the rest of us here. Her purple hat was special. After the accident, it stayed on the road, like her spirit, and that's how I remember Lorilla. Paul Robeson's voice. I am hearing the disappeared voice of Paul Robeson singing Waterboy, calls on a chain gang in the hot South. I am hearing the disappearing islands covered with lapping, rising waters, heavy hurricanes in New Orleans. Paul Robeson changing the words of Old Man River. Paul Robeson for global unity, global warming getting hotter. A laborer in the hot sun in Flint, Michigan, a farm worker in Watsonville needing water in a pandemic. Paul Robeson calls to a young prisoner, too young, on a hot day, too hot, red flag warnings. And thank you very much and happy holidays, everyone.
Bravo. Bravo. Alice.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you. We have one more to join us tonight.
No, that's it, Julie.
Oh, I stand corrected. In that case, thank you, each and all of you, for making this evening what it was, with your poems, your poetry, your artwork, and just being here. Part of the end of the year recollection for San Francisco Living Wage and the social justice issues that are dear to all of us. I want to thank you for joining us this evening and look forward to 2023, each of us working together. Thank you for your participation and your support. And before we go, let's have a nice round of applause or whistles or whatever you want for Carl and each of us. And you can unmute yourself for this.
Thank you,
Prosperity.
No listen.
Thanks for bringing joy and wisdom to this beat up old soldier who's sick.
Have a great night.
All right. Good night, all you wonderful people. See you on the, see you in the streets.
I don't know.
I'm gonna mute now.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you.
Thank you all.